If you are struggling with lower back pain, we're gonna go through some tips today that will help you move with less pain and move in a way so you're not putting stress on your spine so you can allow your back to heal and feel better long term. Hi, I'm Dr. Clay Sankey, chiropractor and owner of TruMotion Therapy in Charlotte, where we specialize in the conservative management of musculoskeletal pain and injuries. That's treatment without the use of drugs or surgery. So these lower back pain movement tips are going to be best for those with an acute bout of lower back pain. That's lower back pain that just came on. Maybe you threw out your back, or for those that have had long-standing back pain but have a more recent aggravation. Okay, so the first thing we want to go over is how to move or bend with back pain. Many people experience a lot of pain when they try to bend over or pick something up with back pain. So how we're going to get around that is we're going to go through some strategies that we call spine sparing strategies. We want to move without putting excessive stress on the spine, and the way that we do that is by moving more with the hips. So we're going to go over something called a hip hinge. This will help you move without putting that excessive stress on the spine and put more of that stress on the hips. So when we're doing a hip hinge, I want you to think about your spine as a pole. Okay, so we want to keep that spine nice and still. That pole is going to rest on the lower part of my back and the back of my head. I want to keep those 2 points of contact, and a hip hinge is simply pushing the hips back, keeping the weight in the heels, and allowing the spine to stay straight. So if you're doing this at home, it really helps to grab a broomstick and try this yourself. Okay, so we are moving from the hips. The first movement we do is hips back. This is very similar to a deadlift that you would do in the gym. If you're doing proper deadlift form, you are doing a hip hinge. So when are we going to use a hip hinge? This is when we're doing things like bending over to do the dishes or going to pick up a child or groceries. This is an important movement to keep the stress off your back, because a lot of people will complain, yeah, when I'm bending over to brush my teeth or do the dishes, it hurts my back. And that's typically because they're doing so with a rounded spine. They're putting more stress on their back than they should, when we should be pushing the hips back and keeping the spine nice and straight. Again, this is not a long-term strategy. This is just for when you have those acute bouts of lower back pain. Another movement that we want to go through that has a subtle difference from the hip hinge is a squat. So this is a strategy we're going to use when we're getting in and out of a chair. Oftentimes people with back pain say they have a lot of pain when they go from sitting to standing or standing to sitting, and how they will typically do that when they have pain is they'll put their hands on their knees, put a lot of pressure through their thighs, and stand up like that. Okay, so if we're going from sitting to standing, standing to sitting, we want to do so with intention. Now, it may sound silly to put this much thought into getting in and out of a chair, but if you have back pain and you're getting in and out of a chair 50 times a day and you're doing it wrong, you're picking the scab 50 times a day. So we want to make sure we're doing it properly. So when you go to sit, we're going to keep that same proud chest, nice straight spine, put the hands on the thighs but not pressing into the thighs. And your first movement is going to be butt down and back, okay? And then to stand, we're going to do the same thing but in reverse. Nice proud chest, hands on the thighs but not pressing into the thighs. And I want you to think about pushing your feet into the floor. Just like that, okay? So that is going to be your squat motion that will help you get in and out of a chair pain-free. So oftentimes we need to pick something up from a low spot like a floor or a low table, but it just seems excessive to go through a squat or a hinge. So what we can do in that case is simply do a split stance position. When we do this and bend down to pick something up, kind of like you're doing a lunge, you're keeping your back nice and straight and you're putting all the emphasis on your hips and your legs. So if you're going to pick your keys up off the floor, this can be a great way to do so without putting that stress on your back. Oftentimes people will feel pain in their lower back when they're sitting, so a lumbar support can be a great solution for this. You can get cheap lumbar supports off of Amazon that you can just bring with you, put in your office chair, put in your car. But if you need something now, a rolled up towel works really well. So take a hand towel, loosely roll it up, and you're gonna put it right above your belt line, lower back, sit your butt all the way to the back of the chair and sit back. And you're gonna find that that helps maintain the normal arch and curve of the lower back and just helps keep you in a good position. Another really important piece of advice for those with lower back pain is to stay active. It's important that we do not bed rest lower back pain or couch rest lower back pain. We want to keep moving throughout the day. Now, we may not want to do too intense of activities while we're in the thick of back pain, but we want to make sure we're going for short walks throughout the day. Keep yourself active. That's going to maintain blood flow in the lower back. It's going to maintain good motion in the joints, and your back's going to thank you for it long term. And lastly, know that there are treatments for back pain beyond taking pain medication, muscle relaxers, getting an injection, or getting surgery. There are conservative options that can help you heal from lower back pain. In fact, the vast majority of cases of lower back pain get better with these conservative options. So if you're struggling with back pain, we would be happy to help. Visit us online at TruMotionTherapy.com to learn more or schedule an appointment.